Everyone getting ready. We got good sound and video. Almost ready to rock and roll. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Thursday night's Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks. Let's get ready to go. Let's see what we got. We got sound, we got audio. Got a little something different on the agenda for the night. Yeah, let's see what we got. We got a bunch of Down Dirty Tricksters in the house. We got London Penn, Darren Plank, Lindsay J. Lindsay J and London Penn. The Red Skulls, Steve Leahy, those are all longest members, 8 months or more. Thank you for sticking around. Really appreciate it. Let me show you what I got going on tonight. Let's see. First off, let's talk about those Down Dirty Tricksters. There's all the members that keeps the show rocking. All get a nice little discount at McKay Fine Art and my e-store. Where if you're watching on YouTube, the channel, or like your computer, you can go to the store. There's a bunch of stuff you can get, like shirts and hats and stuff like that now. That's all available as well. So thank you guys. Thank you very much. And of course, the brands and sponsors we like to use and support around here that help support us. We support them. It's all good in the hood. None of these are like paid sponsors. They're not paying me to do this, but they do support me if we need some stuff and technical help and things like that. And Maple's now on the list. We've done our first class at Maple, which was amazing. Maple Airbrush Supply in Canada, amazing facility. Definitely worth a trip. You know, Coast is my home. Coast has all the nostalgia, my family, friends, basically, the history of artwork. But Maple for Canada has got it going on. Amazing displays, amazing store, well set up, well stocked, really knowledgeable, great people. So Canada's very lucky to have Donna and the crew. So definitely get up there. They're very awesome to see. Yeah, so the merch, I don't have it on me because it's digital, but it's all download. You not download, it's you purchase it, then it comes to you. I know at the bottom of the screen it should show up. There should be like an ad, basically, but it depends on what operating system you're on. I just got to work out how to, get better at pointing everyone to all that stuff, because a lot of people don't even know I have it. So, and I was talking to a couple guys in Canada, like, oh, I didn't even know you had that. I'm like, so that's my bad. I need to get better links and better websites to that. So, we've been talking about that as well. And it was amazing too. Oh, thank you, Robert. Really appreciate it. Robert, it was a great time. I had such a great time up there. It was amazing, amazing time. Let's take that off. Let me show you what we got going on for tonight. Reference image. Nope, that was last week's. Wrong one. Sorry. So, this is basically a ton of screen. So this is what we're doing. Alright, what? Are you I was reading that with seriousness at first. So this creature is from a game I've got recently addicted to this year called Warhammer 40K, 40,000. Which is tabletop gaming warfare, basically. But to do them, you actually build all your armies out of actual characters, little mini statues, and things like that. and then you make them incredibly detailed, and then you fight your army against the other person's army. I haven't done that part yet. I'm still building the army, but I'm having a blast. It's an amazing hobby. I've been working with a lot of new products and paints and art techniques and things like that, so it's really, really cool. And basically, this is how small these little guys are. They're not very big. They're pretty tiny. Let me see if I can switch cameras here, get you a better shot. So just so you can see, they are not very big, but they are incredibly detailed. Let's see if I can get in on one of these. I don't have the lens set up for it. I don't have the lens set up for it, but you can see they're really cool, they're really detailed. So basically I did a sketch of this guy. I'm going to paint him up. There is a poll for everyone on YouTube. Sorry, Facebook folks, you don't get to participate because Facebook doesn't have this option really. Well, not the same way. So I took a poll earlier on what color tone we're going to do this in. So let's explain to you what I'm doing first. See what was on Facebook. Got a few people. Mike Better, what's going on? Jose, Jeff, my sister Robin, Jan. How's everyone doing? Let's see. And so what I did is I got a 12 by 18 white panel here, and I put transfer tape on it, and I want to make it look like it's clawed open. And I didn't really want to do this live because if it doesn't come out good, you kind of got to restart it. Basically, all I do is transfer tape, grab an edge, finger pick at it a little bit, or take a knife and just tear it. You know, like right here. You know, do another like little one here. Sometimes I'll help start it with a knife blade, and then just tear it out. The best for making natural tears is to just tear it. If you want to do something like super skinny, you could take the gold tape, which is really nice to work with, actually. Let's see if I can make this like just a really skinny tear. And you can add extra rips and tears to it, move around. Yeah, I'm gonna make this one a little bit. There we go. Just so you can see an additional one. And just have fun with it. It's fun to play with. You end up some really cool results. And then I'm just going to do my traditional transfer, which, you know, we've done this quite a few times. Everyone should be already used to this by now. One of the ways I like to transfer, we did it in my class up in Edmonton. 6B soft lead pencil. Drew in the back. I usually take the paper towel and just give it like just to get a like super loose excess. Robin, me what's happening? And what I did, like I said, I did a poll. While I'm doing this, you guys can go vote on it, and then we're going to see where it ends up. The color value I'm going to do this in. I'll do it monotone. I might add some splash of color here and there. But the options are traditional black and gray, blood red to like black blood red, you know what I mean? Like really, really kind of gore. Red over white, be kind of cool, blood splatter and stuff. Super dark purple, like, you know, purple, deep purples to dark, dark purples. Or sepia tones, like the green, brown type of tone. Mike Jarvis, hold on, 24, watch on your likes. Yeah, I don't worry too much about that. The problem with the likes is they don't really populate, update. Like, it only shows 2 likes on mine. So it's like, it shows you what it is when you came in, but it doesn't show you anymore. So I don't have to worry too much about it, but thank you for reminding people, make sure you smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you're not a member, looking to member, like these all crazy guys who take care of me. We talked about this earlier. All my down dirty tricksters. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a lot of them are 8-9 month veterans now. which is awesome. Coming up on a year. I'm gonna come up with something for the year. So when we get to a year, the people have been supported for a year. Maybe we're gonna do a giveaway, or anyone who's a Red Skull, basically. So which is like 8 months to a year. Like it's just about that time. So you members are gonna get something special. So I think what we'll do is maybe we'll do a small painting giveaway, or we'll do some product giveaway. Oh, look, maybe talk to some sponsors, see what we can do. Maybe we'll do a tiered thing for like new members, you know, members for a short time, and then I'll see if I can spread it out to like 3 different things. So that's coming up. So a year with memberships coming up. So definitely got to make that a thing. Hello, Robin. How are you? Robin's over on YouTube. Quality is much better over here. All right, let's take a look at this poll. What we got? Kelly's on here, so on the computer. All right, I think it's pretty clear. So black and gray, 15%, sepia tones, 8, deep purple, 31, and for the win, blood red to dark red, black. Ending the poll there. I'd say that's pretty secure. I was kind of both between that way. Poll complete, 13 votes. Let's see. It's good, it's good, it's good. All right, let's mix up some paint. Well, I'm going to transfer this image first. So yeah, so either you can use soft lead pencil, or you can use Sorel transfer paper, or you can use carbon paper, or anything like that. So any methods work. This is my preferred way of doing it. So let me get some paint mixed first, so that way it can settle a little bit. I'm going to use Cratex Opaque Pyrrole Red. Mike, you have a question. Use invisible gloves on your hands before you start. No. They just get dirty in paint, and then I wash them. A lot of times I wash, and I'll use a Scotch-Brite or something, but yeah, I've never liked invisible gloves. I don't think they did that much anyway. I used to use them when I was in a mechanical shop, but so we got red, straight red. Then I'm going to do another one red, another one red. I'm going to make the second tone, I'm going to use purple and black, so it's not just, I don't want it to go like maroon. Thank you, Robert, for joining the channel. I appreciate that. That was a crazy story, man. Oh, Steve will donate a 543 painting for that. Yeah, let's come up with something. I gotta figure out what the year is. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. That's gonna have to be a thing. So I'm gonna do purple in both, which I'm gonna do the same opaque purple, the deionized or whatever it's called. And then we'll go a little bit of black with the purple and a little bit more black with that purple. We should have 3 nice colors. I'm sorry I didn't have that mix on camera. But basically what I've done, let's see if I can just go full top down. So I got regular red. This red is the same amount of red, and then that purple. And then this red has the black. So straight red. We'll do a little reducer. Mixy mix. Keep them mixing. Then we all know what we do after we mix. Now this has purple and black. Because remember, I didn't want to go like, even that might be a little too maroon. There we go, I like that. I might make this a little bit more transparent. Gary, she's in the house. So now I got a nice red maroon kind of color. And then this should go pretty close to black. Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's almost black. I may go 100%. But we talked about this in Canada. You never go 100%. You know what? You never go full black paint or white paint. I wasn't going to say anything else. Did you add color to the fish? No, I have to do that. This week got away from me for the eye and stuff, so I have to do that, and I will show you that. I meant to do that before tonight, and I didn't get to it. So I will show you that first privately before I post it up. Sorry about that. All right. These can kind of do their thing while I'm transferring. Been a busy week trying to get the house in order, my entire property in order. We got Kaylee's graduation coming up on the 1st, and then we got my 50th coming up. Oof. 50. You know, the liquid glove, I don't know if it's got any reaction particulates in it. I don't know what it's made of. Last time I used it, that's when I ran Sears Automotive. So I don't know if it's silicone based or anything like that. If that's the case, I'd be worried about any cross-contamination of paint jobs. So I tend not to use very much on my hands. All right. So like I said, I got the background all rips and tears. Yep. I can kind of see where things are going. Yep. I always do one. I always use a pen, and the pen gives you a nice clean line. But Michael, that is a really good question because it's something, you know, any painter who does auto body, you got to be concerned with things that go in your hands, things that go in your guns, your cleaning chemicals, lubricants, things like that. Like I was talking to one artist, and I won't name him, even though I really want to call him out for this one. And I've called out other artists for this one, and usually it's t-shirt artists, so they don't really care. It doesn't really affect them. But artists that use WD-40 in their airbrushes to lube their airbrushes and clean them for like performance and flow is probably the scariest thing that makes my skin crawl that someone does. There we go. So you can see those nice lines. And I'm not going to say the artist is, but man, I wanted to just, oof. Like, are you serious? He's like, oh yeah, all the time. And I wish he was on. Guess he'd be secretly laughing. Oh yeah, there's a lot of artists that do WD-40. They spray it right in the gun and all the springs and the interior to make it all lube up, and I'm like, that's like honestly like the grossest thing I've heard. A, I hate WD-40. B, it's such a contaminant. And he says, "Oh, I've never had a problem with clear." And I mean, I believe him because he's a good friend. But man, I don't know how you haven't. It wasn't me. Oh no, if it was Steve, I'd call you out live. You're here enough. But you would definitely call the painter out too and give him shit. And the cool thing about doing this is, let's see if I'm going to try to zoom in a little more. Is now you can see the lines really well, but you can also see it's over the transfer, and I can decide if I want to cut some of this out and give it like a dimension, like so that does like the characters coming weaving in and out of the rips and tears, and kind of tell a better story or composition. This is probably not going to be a finished one tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really trying. But I've been really wanting to do a 40K piece since I got into it. It's a really fun hobby. I've met some great people. Spent a little bit of money. It's definitely a. It definitely has the potential to be a very big black hole of finances if you're not careful. So, if you were to look into it, be forewarned. And if you're already into it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is a really cool character. This is, like I said, this is a character from the army I'm actually doing. Thanks, Mom. So that's him. So you can tell the scale is super tiny. And he's one of the bigger characters. This is considered a fairly large model in the hobby. The standard Warhammer guys, so this is considered large. This is the normal size ones. Most of the characters are around this big. And I wish I could zoom in and get all the detail, but yeah, you can see a lot of little detail to paint. All the little grass I put in, all the little rocks and pebbles. They're fun to paint. There's a lot of brushwork and airbrush work, some little airbrush fades and stuff like that. Yeah, they're pretty fun. I have a lot of them. I have 30 of these guys done and painted. It's a lot of painting. Let's go back out. So hope everyone's doing well. So we're getting ready for all the summer shindigs here with Kelly's graduation. She got prom next week and all that. He'd be a good one to have. Oh yeah. You know, I'd like to do, you know what I'd like to do? I should talk to Gary Gregory because I think he knows the girl has one of the, the Velociraptor costumes. It would be amazing to take that same premise of the Velociraptor full-scale costume and make one of these guys out of it, because you would absolutely rule the conventions if you went to one of that, and it would be amazingly realistic, and you could use your arms for real as well, so it'd be a really cool costume. So these creatures are called Tyranids. They're pretty much like the Xenomorphs. They're like basically from Alien, from the movie Aliens. They're very similar. Definitely derivative property, I would say. So the game people might not like that comment, but yeah, let's face it, it's really true. It's definitely a derivative of the alien when you see them, but they've obviously got a whole different like set and stuff like that. Like they kind of These ones are more tentacly in the face. Some of them are more like teeth and jaw. But there's so many characters in that game. And I think it'd be fun to paint one. You're kind of squid-like in the face here. It's almost this is a very deep cut. Almost a little bit like Doctor Who the Ood, if any guys know what I'm talking about there. I know there's a lot of really geeky things happening right now. We usually don't go this way, but yeah, it does. Yep. It's definitely got a little bit of that, you know, that Halo-esque. Which is cool. Like, I really dig the characters and the lore and everything that happens with this kind of thing. And then I'm kind of Marshall, what's happening? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, so we were talking about likes earlier. So, like, my likes still haven't changed. It still only shows 2. So, yeah, I think, like, once you're in, that really doesn't update much. So, but yeah, so that's the whole face, which is cool. So what I did is I made sure the face, that was my goal, to make sure the face sits right between everything. And there's some parts, like, yeah, this was perfect up here. Because like a piece of the crown kind of can come right out of one of these rips, which would be cool. And then come back around. So that's going to be awesome. I'm digging that. I know it's hard to see, so I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more. There you go. You can see most of the details. I'll get this hand in here. The cool thing about this kind of hobby is it's, you know, there's a lot of relations to what I already do with some of the scale model building and stuff like that. And then, yeah, it's just something different that I can enjoy that's not custom motorcycle, custom car, custom motorcycle, custom car stuff. I was in this call with some entrepreneurs, some other guys, and this crew of people, and one of the questions came up, like, what do you do for a hobby? What do you do for fun? And I was stumped, because I didn't really know how to answer it, because I'm like, well, I kind of do my job. My job is kind of a hobby. And that was cool, but it was also kind of sad. I'm like, I don't actually have a hobby. You know, that I can just sit down. I mean, video games are fun. I wouldn't call them a hobby. And I've always, you know, so the only really thing I came up with is, you know, it's still art related. I think most of my hobbies would, and I think most of us creative types would fall in the same category. You know, your hobby is still going to be creative if you're an artist, you know, so I got into this because it's a creative outlet that I can enjoy. Drew Blair on Facebook. How's it going, man? Thanks for popping in. If you want to see the higher quality feed where you can see stuff better, then the YouTube channel is the way to go. Let's go back out and show you what we're doing here. So that's our reference. We're here and just doing our nice easy transfer. So while I'm doing this, any other questions, feel free to field them out. You know, the other reason I like doing a pencil transfer as opposed to Sorel paper or things like that, I don't like Sorel. Sorel's wicked, it's not chalky and greasy. It doesn't have any effect on the clear. It doesn't mess with the paint at all. But it leaves such a heavy image behind that's almost hard to, like, get rid of. Like, it's just, I don't like it. And obviously, I don't trust carbon paper. I just don't know if there's going to be any reactions with clear. There probably wouldn't be, but, and I don't like that either. So I found just a nice, you know, 6B pencil, graphite. I do not use charcoal, because charcoal, you don't know what you're going to have. It's going to get really smeary. But let me switch to top down and we'll zoom in here. You can see you get a nice registration. It doesn't smear easy with your finger, and it'll cover really well. The problem with Sorel, you leave it, and if you wipe it too much, the Sorel transfer will actually wipe off, and what will happen is the Sorel will wipe off, and the paint that's on top of it will wipe off, and you'll have this line of, like, no paint, and you're back down to base color, which is a trick you can play with if you want, but when you don't want it to happen, it's really unfortunate. So I just like straight pencil transfer if I'm going to transfer at all. And it's cheap. 6B pencil. You can get away with 4B. 2B is a little hard. I've done 8 as well, but don't use charcoal. It's just messy. Super, super messy. Alright. I've always considered it a hobby. Yeah, like, me painting is also a hobby, but, you know, it's also my full-time job, airbrushing, so I wanted something that was considered a hobby, and so I kind of got back into scale model building, because I've always loved it. Even when I was a kid, I always enjoyed building models. I used to go to my grandparents on a weekend. Especially rainy weekends, I would go to the local hobby store. They were all over back then. I'd pick up a cool ship model or car model and build it, you know, in a weekend. They weren't great, but, you know, it was cool to do. It was a great hobby and learned a lot and kept me busy. Kept my ADD brain out of my parents' skull, I'm sure is half the reason. Esther McCauley, how you doing, Aunt Esther? Thank you for popping in. Hope things are well up there. The leg comes in here, there's a hip up here. And there'll be just much splatter. There's a bunch of organic stuff happening up here that you really can't. No, we'll put some blood splatter in. But cool. It's a cool transfer. Now I have everything I need. If I want to cut this out, like I said, I could. Oh, you know what I'll do? Just to make it cool. Yeah. I'm going to cut a silhouette of him and have this background out. And I can flood the background with some red and stuff like that. So just kind of really get a dark background. Cheers. Bradley James Murray, what's happening? Thanks for popping in. Steve Buckets, what's going on? Alright, let me grab cutting mat. And I just saw Steve Buckets reminded me. I did hit record, Steve. I've been really good about that lately. I've been diligent. Really diligent. Down the hatch, that's right. Okay, I'm going to move this aside. And remember, see, this was great. So now my paint and all that time and reducing, now I've given it a chance to settle and sit and get ready. And then what are we going to do with our paint? What's the one thing I'm going to tell you is a must. And it's not because it's a problem with paint, with a brand of paint or type of paint. What's the one thing you should always do with your paint? You will get massive improvement out of your flow. Lindsay's got it. Strain that shit. I don't care how good you think your paint is, or how good you think your product is. Once you've opened that paint and it's sat around a week or two here and there, a couple weeks, or you've popped it in and out of a cap, air gets in there, you're gonna get a dry particle or two here and there. Or not even a dry particle. Sometimes you might get a hard pigment. You might get something that's from the cap. We might get something that's just a little, it's not, it's just going to be somewhat solid. So what that's going to do is you're going to go through your airbrush, and if you're using a micron, with a 0.18, that means that orifice is a 0.18 maximum hole size. When your needle's going through and everything else, what do you think is going to happen when that little particle gets in there? It's going to jam it up. It takes no time to strain your paint. And I know some of us use a ton of colors. I use a ton of colors. But you got to thank me for it. And look, say you're working on a big project. You strain this, you messed with it. Now you can put it back in a bottle, like say if you have an empty bottle, and cap it, and you're good. You don't really have to strain it again, or it strains really, really easy afterwards. But just makes all the difference in paint flow. It's a great habit to get into. And the other thing, it actually helps mix your paint better, especially if you mix in a few colors. By basically sifting it through a strainer, it's like sifting bread flour. You know, basically it separates all the clumps, lets it get a little, airy, lets it come back together, and then it's just a better product overall. Robin and Monahan, thank you for popping in. It's good to see an old friend, next door neighbor from where we grew up. Way back in the day, as I get ready to celebrate my 50th, which is coming up next month. Well, yeah, so at this point, I just hope all my paints are still... Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, paints last a long time. They really do. I mean, dude, I have paints that literally go back to high school. They're still usable. Now, they may not be the best, but they're still usable. Yeah, so you're fine. The biggest thing that kills paint is usually rapid changes. Rapid changes in heating and cooling is not good for paint. Yeah. Oh, the ones that smell. Whew. So if you've never experienced a true rotted water-based color, let me tell you something. It is a smell that, oof, you don't want to deal with. It is the most rancid thing. I was teaching at the local vocational school up in New Hampshire. And I'm teaching, and these are all new bottles, but one of them must have kicked off or leaked or something. But man, it was the most rotten egg sulfur smell you could imagine. And it just was not cool. And I was like, there's no way that could be the paint. And the kids are like, no, that's paint. I'm like, I've never smelled something like that in all my years. And they brought it up to me, and sure as hell, I put my nose to it, and I almost died. Route 22 Total Customs, thank you for popping in, sir. Like I said, this may be a finisher tonight. It may not. I don't care. As long as it's a cool project, I can show you some skills. I do have some planned, detailed how-tos that I will be doing. But, you know, these are definitely, you know, this is still showing you how to do it. It's just not all pre-planned and a lot of that stuff, but that stuff's coming. You know, where I list the paint types and all that shit. Yeah, I did, man. It was like I wanted to kill it. I literally almost threw up in the classroom. It was that bad. It was that rancid. You know what's funny? This was a purple as well. So I wonder if it's something in the organic pigment compound in a purple. This was a detailed, like black magenta purple. And yeah, it was rancid. I go through a fair amount of blades, especially when I'm doing like motorcycles, because you're on hard surfaces. Made from beetle blood. That was technically how they made shellac, but it's not how all paint is actually made. But the shellac beetle is what they used to make shellac out of. But there are modern compounds and things that don't do that. Yeah. So like I'll go through like this one blade, I'll do the whole project. I might switch to two. The cool thing is this is just gonna it'll help speed up the project quite a bit, because we can get that background in. Ow. Hands are tight this week. We're moving loads and loads of dirt, like yards worth. Lately I'm doing a lot of yard work, spreading seed, mulch, all that fun stuff, getting the pool open and ready. So hands definitely stiff. Nope, lost a blade. Yep, sucks to get old. This paper is really, this cardstock I got is super thick. Great for cutting stencils, but you gotta really cut through. Oh, so this is from the Tyranid army in Warhammer 40k, which this is called a Lictor, or Tyranid Lictor. which is this is what he looks like as a full character. And basically I just went off the model and based the design off that and figured I'd do a painting. I've been wanting to incorporate some 40K. Into my live work. So no time like the present. It's a very alien-like creature, like xenomorph alien. Gear inspired. Oh, the filigree relief works great. I have a whole filigree vector set coming out very soon. I gotta finish refining it. I've used it for years. I just want to make it so it's really good for everyone to use. Oop. Yep, should change that blade. There we go. All right, let's bring this guy back up here. Now I can line this guy up. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I usually like wrap my blades so they're a little thicker. It's the skinny handles. I don't have dainty little hands. Just not in the blood. Morning from Oz. Thank you for popping in, James. Really appreciate it. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's get... Oh, you know we got a gap. Details! Oh, Gerald Mendez. Old school. Splatter FX. Donabush, what's happening? Thank you for popping in. Just talking about you earlier. What an amazing time we had. Great class, great store, great teaching, great food. It was a great time. I really look forward to coming back up. Alright, so I'm going to do like my mid-tone. Whoops. You know what I didn't do? Strain that. I did grab some of those ultra fine strains you can get. What? Warhammer, baby! Yep, that's what we are doing tonight. Alright. So, just have a little fun. Put a few different reds in the background. That'll just give me an early background separation. Oof. Oh yeah, yep. I used to do that. The lack of thinner would kill you, man. It's brutal. So brutal. Oh, so this is perfect. Right here, I can have it go like under and then back over, then come out of this hole and like above the rip. See, that'll be cool. Straight red in there as well. So Donna, when we schedule the next class? I think it worked out pretty well. I hope it was beneficial for you. I am ready to go when you are. Yeah, just kind of getting the stuff in there now. Yeah, me and Rod, it was great working with Rod. And if I come up again to teach, and we're going to do that again, maybe we'll do a double billing, and me and Rod teach fully, and come up with maybe we'll do a 3-day or something and come up with a project that he can lend more of his skill set on. But it was great having him. You can also do the old school splatter, like off the edge of a blade. Map that out a little bit. Just have some fun with it. I could press to just swing in out. So my advice on compressors, I have two California air compressors. I have a big 60-gallon 4-horse for my shop, and even that thing's quiet. It's under 60 decibels, which is great. And then I have the same compressor. It's a 2 horsepower, and that's basically it's just one compressor head, 2 piston electric. Those are nice units, and I know California Compressors making the new Iwata versions, and they're similar. There's other versions that kind of knockoffs. They made the same way, not by the same company, from what I gather. That make the ones that like Harbor Freight, like the things like that. But they work pretty well from what I gather as well. Yeah, the Black Widow compressors are very similar to the California. They use a similar build type. I just don't know the longevity. The problem with the Harbor Freight stuff, like the airbrushes and stuff, they make them really flashy and cool colors. They make them look great. If they spend as much time refining the interior components as they do making boxes, They have a really good product. They're good, but they're just not. The QC is kind of bad on them. I mean, QC, you get quality control issues where, you know, for every 5th one, every 5, you got a failure, or every 6 you failure. Alright, so now I'm going to shadow this heavier. So this has the black mixed in it. I'm not going to do a lot of it right now. But I just want to get the main kind of lift done. You know what, Alan? You got to break out the old Gerald Mendez old school once in a while. Moderating theater, fridge motor compressor. So I love refrigerator compressors. They're dead silent. They're awesome. I have one. They're so darn expensive because of the way they're built. They do have an overheating tendency. For airbrushing, they're fine. When you airbrush, I've had issues where I've burnt them out, or I've like just cooked the oil because I'm running them too long, too fast. But they are awesome. I have an old Badger one. I have an old Silent Air one. They are just great. All right, so now should have a nice background to start. I'm not going to go through and cut all this stuff yet. I'm going to go mostly freehand from here on out. Racing technique, eradication technique. Let's see, it gives me a really cool background. The color looks great. And yeah, I think I'm going to love the way the tone of this overall project looks. This is where I'm going to determine. There's a few things I want to cut manually. Let's see here. Blade goes in a blade container. Always have a sharps container, people. Canadian tire. Gonna use a Canadian tire. There you go. Yep. I mean, the thing is, if you're airbrushing, you can get away with a lot. From Quebec, thank you for popping in, Peter. If you're just airbrushing, you can get away with a lot of different units. When you start getting into like, oh, I have a shop and I have to use sanders and spray guns and things like that. Now you got to start worrying about CFM. Okay, with CFM, you need to make sure your compressor can drive it, because even a 60-gallon, you surprise some of these 60-gallon compressors, they don't push enough CFM to run a full-size spray gun at length. You can maybe get away with it for, you know, a couple passes down like a bike part, but some of them won't. You can't paint a car with them because the compressor just won't keep up its cycle. That's where you got to really start to do your homework on, you know, what else do you do? Do you use a lot of air tools? Okay, if that's the case, then you need a more powerful compressor. Thank you, Gary. Much appreciated, sir. I'm good here. I'm good here. I'm gonna leave that where it is. I'm going to leave that one. We are going to bring this guy out here. So that pops up over the rip. Like I said, I'm just picking out, I want this claw. What's a good CFM rating for a shop compressor? So I would, look at your biggest spray gun, for one, and see what it takes. So I know my Supernova and then my big like primer gun. My primer gun wants 14.5 15 CFM at like 25 psi out of the gun. So like my compressor will do, I think, 15 CFM at 40, so it's plenty. If you want something in a shop compressor that's in the 12 to 13 range, I would say, and you're fine. 12 to 13 at 40, which will probably be 10 to 10, maybe 8 to 10 at 90 CFM at 90 psi. So that's if you're running like air sanders and like heavy equipment, something like that. So for a shop compressor, I would not go under 4 horse. So I would be between 4 to 6 horse, and I would probably be between 12 to 16 CFM at 40 psi is where I'd probably recommend you're going to want to be. But look at your equipment. And that's the other problem with some of the cheaper brands that people get. You get the cheaper brands and they the guns they use a lot of CFM because they're not tuned right, and they have a very low transfer efficiency rate. So I know everyone loves the cheap spray guns. And the cheap spray guns are great, $80 spray gun versus a $400 spray gun. Amazing deal. If you're only painting 1 or 2 things a year, you're doing great. You don't need to go any further than that. You're fine. But if you're painting more than 1 or 2 vehicles a year, I'm going to tell you right now, that cheap gun is costing you way more money. Because it's about transfer efficiency. So if your $100 Harbor Freight gun they spray great, they spray wet, everything looks good, but what you don't realize is 30 to 40% of the material or more is ending up in the air. It's not ending up on the surface because it's got a poor transfer efficiency rating. Then you get into your name brands, and I'm an Iwata fan. Everyone knows it. But when you get into Iwata, SATA, DeVilbiss, the name brands, bigger guns that everyone kind of copies the look and style of, those guns only 20% of the material is going in the air versus 30 or 40. So think about that. If you're buying $200 a gallon clear, means every time you spray, you're spraying. If 40% is going in the air, now you just lost $80 every time you spray a gallon. If you have a better gun that only 20% goes in the air, you only lost $40. And you got to lose. There's always going to be air transfer efficient. So think about that. Now you're a weekend warrior. You do 1 or 2 cars every 2 years. The savings is minimal. You paint something every couple weeks, and every time you spray a gallon of clear, you're losing $80. It's not too long before that $100 spray gun or that $200 you saved on the spray gun gets eaten up pretty quick. It's a very long conversation. It's very nuanced, but that's the reality of it. You have to match your equipment to the side. Exactly, yeah. So basically, look at your air hogs, your biggest nozzle spray gun, and your your sander, things like that. Because what happens is some of the compressors keep up, but they can't keep up all day. They might keep up for 20 minutes. And then you're going to start overheating the thing. Nobody wants that. Everything in the air coats. Everything on the surface it touches. Yeah. But it's just one of those, you got to be careful with the, oh, I saved so much because I got this gun for half the price of this gun. And it sprays just as good. Well, the surface finish might look just as good, especially after you wet it and buff it. I mean, I was doing, you know, show finish paint jobs when I first started out using Husky spray guns. There's no shame in it. That's all I could afford. That's what I used. And then eventually I got a Sada, actually. A little mini jet. And then I got water guns. And then I never really went back after that. I'm getting a little delay in my airbrush. This is my Eclipse, I think. It might be a little dirty. Like I didn't quite clean it. Give it a quick flush. I need like hold music. Do I have any? Let's see. There we go. Hold please. Come on, that's funny. God, that was funny. Yeah, I need some better hold music. I'll get some. And I need like a please stand by. Technical difficulty, like pop-up screen with the elevator music. What I need is like a almost full-time editor to come help me do this shit half the time. Take my nozzle out and check it. There we go. Little spring cleaning. Mike Manning. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Mr. Leahy, thanks for popping in. Let me know next time you're in the wasteland. We gotta team up. We gotta do some stuff. We gotta do some damage. Thanks for popping in. Say hi to Marge. Okay, nozzle's done. Nozzle's clear. Cap looks good. Let's check this guy. Yeah, over the dirt. Over the dirt. I love these guys. Just get in here. Just clean it up. CCP and Power is a good polisher. Oh yeah. So there's really good ones out there. I use Rupus equipment. I use all their polishers now for everything. They go. I have 1-inch polisher, 2-inch polisher, orbital and rotary, and they go up to the full size, you know, wool pad rotary. And I'm doing a lot more DA polishing these days, kids. I'm an old school wool rotary polisher, but there's a lot of improvement now with these new DA style, the dual action. And oh, this is definitely gonna be a multi-feed painting. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna try to wrap this up in one. I want it to be really gnarly looking, so we'll get into some erasing and eradication and things like that. So I'm just kind of taking my time. And that means, you know, I can, I don't have to think of anything new for next week because I got a busy week ahead. Other brand polishers I like too. I haven't used Bauer. I used to use Milwaukee. I liked them. I have my big DeWalt. I liked. Like I said, Milwaukee has a lot of good ones out as well. Sanders and stuff. I use Dynabraid. So I haven't gone cordless like on most stuff. I mean, I have a couple cordless small ones for like detail polishing. But you know what the problem I find with the cordless ones is the battery's heavy. So yeah, the you don't have a cord, but the battery's so heavy on the back end it beats the hell out of my right here. I had bad tendonitis from polishing for years, and it just really tore this up. And when I go to the battery-powered ones, they're so much heavier because of the battery that I go back to the. I find myself going back to the corded ones because they're lighter. But they both. It's not a. This is better than that, but yeah, I got my old DeWalt still. It's an Anchor. Damn thing's an Anchor. It's so loud. My Rupus kicks its ass, and it's, you know, makes a quarter of the noise, and it's like a quarter of the weight. But yeah, I'm still a wool guy either way. All right. Let's see. Yeah, multi-feed painting. Here we go. Yeah. Ghostbusters backpack, battery pack. Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea. You know, that would be a smart cordless, just like the 3M breathing system. No, hear me out. No, this is gonna get patented. I'm gonna lose all my money. But 3M, if you ever wanted a 3M rebreather, the battery pack is mounted to your waist, and it plugs in. So you could get a nice high-powered battery pack that sits like a fanny pack or like a hip pack, and then it's just a short cord to your polisher. Would be amazing. Instead of having all that weight on your handle, you know, right on the handle. That's the problem I have with the battery stuff. So what I'm doing, I'm going to use the red, but I don't think, I'm just debating if I want to start with a brighter red. I think I'm going to, actually, I want to go back. I want to be able to darken as I go. So I'm going to go back to straight red for my start. So yeah, I'm going to strain that into my gun. We're just covering all sorts of topics tonight. I like that. Let's softly erase those lines without erasing my pencil lines. So I think that color is too dark to start with. I need to get rid of all of it, but Ingersoll Rand makes some nice stuff as well. Alright. There we go, regular red. And I'm doing this line art style, so it'll almost have kind of a t-shirty outline feel. Oh yeah, stuff kind of creeps up on you. Get body shakes. Do you get any body shakes? Those are fun. You can't sleep. Do you know why? Do you know why it's getting you sick? What it's doing? Or do you not want to know? I can tell you. Yeah, basically what it's doing, the solvent attacks your nervous system. So your nervous system was all messed up from it. That's why you get shaky and you get some people get sweats, you get all sorts of gnarly stuff. Not to mention, yeah, the headaches is because it's in your sinus passages and irritating the hell out of that. So that kind of swells that. The shakes and stuff comes from your nervous system getting attacked because the chemicals attacking your nervous system and it's freaking out. And certain solvents can act like MAOIs in your system, which can be really funky. So yeah, your body just basically goes a little bit toxic. You know what kills me? Buffing. If I don't wear a respirator when I buff, my entire head is completely congested. I can't breathe. Polishing, I get worse than paint. Yeah. This is also why, kids, don't wash your hands with lacquer thinner. Because it soaks into your nail beds, gets into your veins, your capillaries, then backs up into your nervous system that way. And it can be really nasty because it's traveling through your bloodstream. Don't wash your hands with lacquer thinner or reducer. And if you do say, I've been doing it for years, stop now. I watched a guy one day just start doing it, and he was doing it, and he just basically fell over, had to take him to the hospital, and his whole nervous system shut down. And it was bad. So let's keep everyone healthy, shall we? So I've used both. Use CSI. I hate Perfect It. Not a fan of it. I do like Meguiar's 100 as well. Super cut. I know Meguiar's is on my 3M, but they use a different compound system. But it's not even the brand. It's the particles. It's the dust. It's all the buffing dust that's getting in the air, and it just really messes with me. And I'm not having a good night tonight. I think I have a slight bend in this needle that's wreaking havoc on me. go. Yeah, respirator is your best friend. Like, when I do polishing, I don't use a full respirator. I just use one of those, like, RZ masks. Those are great. It catches the particulates, the particles. Because that's not really you're not, with the polishing, unless you're using some of the shit brands that use kerosene. And believe it or not, there are a lot of brands out there, polishes, that use kerosene as the cutter. I love polishing. I don't mind it. It just kills my sinuses. Alright, this brush is getting retired for the night. It needs a rework. I think my needle is bent, or my nozzle is cracked. So I have not been treating it fairly. Yeah, I've been getting better with the gloves in the shop when I'm sanding, and sure, I know my buddy's shop. You so much as pick up a Scotch-Brite without a glove, he'll be on you. His shop is so meticulous and like by the book. So I figured I'll just take my time tonight. Start a cool painting. This is going to work into week 2. But you can see this is going to be a real dynamic piece, especially with these rips coming across. They're going to be bright white. And I'll show you next week how to make the edges look three-dimensional like the paper's ripped. Mitch Peacock, what's going on, brother? When you said something to me, oh yeah, I think was Mother's a, I don't remember. Mother's, I think Mother's might have been a kerosene based, or one of their older stuff. I don't know what they are now. I haven't used them in a long time. But I remember I used to use this company called Bright Max, and it was a good system. Way too many steps. It was like it was a 4 or 5 compound system. It was stupid. With you know, a different color pattern for everything. It was like trying to be overly complicated to make sure it was good. But yeah, a lot of them had, you know, kerosene, and you put your nose to it, and you can smell it, and you're like, oh shit. A lot of it back in the day was kerosene. Is what was in there as a cutter, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was back then. Like I said, I don't know what it is now, but I just stayed away from it. But yeah, you put your nose to it, and you're like, oh yeah, I can smell that. Let's try this. Oh yeah. Well, 3M makes great stuff. So now with the red, now you can see I can tone a little bit, but I can come back in later with that maroon and I can really cut that shadow. You know, that's why I'm working this way. You know, so I can really cut this later. This guy here, I use a little stick eraser. So I can bring that tentacle right back. And that was some schmear from before. But we can also do some cool eradication. So let me do this. I'm gonna go here, go here. Nice little details. Bring pocket graphics are great for right here. Then come and just do a little just shadow that. Where do you get those pencil erasers from? More aggressive ones. So I got them. I got these from. These are a new one I got from Amazon. So they have two tips. They have a soft pink on this side, and they have the heavier one on this side. They're still not as heavy as like Drew Blair used to have some really heavy ones, and I still got a handful of them. And I went like digging through. I went years ago digging through eBay and found a lot of really old ones as well. Like this blue one, this is really old. It's really hard. This one's almost a scratcher. See, I can like go in and just see how sharp that is. Like these ones are really cool. This was, I can't remember it. Lyrato, Lyrato, Germany, old. Oh, so these ones are just Faber-Castell. So you can get these by the box. So this is the, I'll give you the number, Marshall, right there. It's the Perfection. I think that's a 7057 Faber-Castell. And there's your part number. So these work great. And this, like I said, this has the soft pink on this side, and it's got the slightly harder on this side. And then obviously we'd go to the electric erasers, like we talked about, like the Iwata ones here, which usually give you that nice soft electric erase. But you can see the difference in the tone. So that gave you a nice aggressive cut. This gives you a softer one. All what you can do is you can start aggressive, and then you can use a softer one. You can soften those out a little bit if you want, okay? Howdy gang, what's going on, Rob? Thanks for popping in. Marshall, you're very welcome. Calvin, thanks for popping in. So look, I can just kind of bring that one right back. Like all these, if I want to bring them back now, I can. Look, we'll make little suction cups. Oops. I'll do that again. Watch right here. Yeah, Hobby Lobby sometimes has them as well. Maybe you can do all these little refinements. Yeah, they usually carry Sakura or some of the aftermarket electrics. They don't carry the Medea ones, which these now are my favorite. Sakuras are a little bit more powerful. They got a little bit stronger motor, but these are USB rechargeable, so they're super light, and the freaking battery lasts forever in them. So I'm a big fan. Oof, 9:30. I feel like going to bed. Too bad it's recycling tomorrow. I gotta cut up boxes. As you can see, I'm just taking my time through this one, and I think I gotta do a little bit of redrawing. I gotta look at my reference to see what I got. Oh yeah, there we go. That's gonna go here. You know, like I could go in. And if you have trouble doing shading like this, I could go and do this, like basically cut the outer silhouette of the main crest. I'll do that, and then we'll leave it tonight and start finishing the rest next time. You know, I still find some time to play. Like I gotta get back on actually painting these guys. I have the army almost done, and then I have another set of these guys. And a set of 20. Oops, I just broke the arm off. A set of 20 that I want to paint as a different color set, like a faction. It's for a different game. There's actually a board game that you can play that's a little less involved. That came out last year. It's just a very simple version of the game. It has this, you know, similar characters to the army, so I'm going to start playing that as well. Oh, hands. No, these guys are... there are people that 3D print them. It's considered bad form in the game. Like, most times you can't play in tournaments or active games with it. Just because you're supposed to actually buy the official armies, build them, paint them, blah, blah, blah. So the official ones are just like model kits. They come on a sprue set like anything else. I'm going to do a couple videos on it. And then you put them together. So you gotta put them together just like putting together a model airplane or a model car. Like, so this guy, see, he broke. So now that arm goes in that socket and the hand kind of goes in there, and I'll be able to fix them up easy. But yeah, they are teeny, but they are really cool, detailed. So it's gonna be part of my channel at some point, my tabletop, basically adventure. So now this is like this, and he's gonna go here. Now we gotta find where everything's kind of going. So that's the whole shape of the head. That gives you some more to go on. But yeah, I mean, 3D printing is another part of the hobby, but just the official game, you don't use them. But there's other stuff like backgrounds and other stuff you can print. And my 3D resin printer does an amazing job, so. So like, see how this crown, almost everything's hidden behind that rip? Maybe, oh, I got it. I got it. So this one is coming through here. That's coming out from under. That one can stay hidden. This one, we're going to extend a little bit. Mr. Powers, welcome, kind sir, to the party. Good evening from here. Good morning to you, I take it. There we go. So that'll be cool. So now this rip will go down and it'll cover that one up. I think that'll be cool. That's what's fun about whenever you're doing the rips. LaValle did some masterful designs with rips. So. Oh, it's almost lunchtime. What's going on, man? Shoot for details. Mr. Josh Sweeney, amazing photographer extraordinaire. Thank you for popping in. Really appreciate it. We're doing a little Warhammer character here. It's my new addiction. If I could get this red is not cooperating tonight. See, even I have issues, guys. Get them going. I think everything's good. Everything sprays off to the side well. And you go to spray and it doesn't do what you want it to do. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, for touch-up leafing, yep, it's really great. As long as you get your sizing down well. Because I've noticed that if I get a little too ahead of myself and put the electric eraser or a spinner, it's when the glue's still soft, oof, you know, put the leaf down too early. Not fun. Huh. Facebook just dumped out. The nice thing is next week we'll be able to just get right into painting. Really make this thing gritty, gnarly. Yeah. Their goal is to make it for virtual reality. That's their main goal right now. Oh, we doing future casting? You're not supposed to do that. With great power comes great responsibility, Mr. Powers. Yeah, this is gonna look great. Let's go for a side shot. Yeah, I really dig the tone of this. All these deep reds, and then that white, tear will just look really, really cool. Like it tore through like a white linen. That'd be awesome. This might be a print-worthy thing. I gotta start doing some I've been wanting to start getting into some of the Comic-Cons and stuff, and start doing a just artist row kind of section. In between some of my Star Wars type stuff and this, I think I could put together a fairly cool collection. some prints and stuff. At least that's what I'm thinking. Oh yeah, man, it's definitely so you being the camera guy, it's all Lumix, everything's matched. I can do all my pan and zoom and stuff, and the only thing I hate autofocus because it's too fast. It's too slow. And then I can do all my super sourcing now and do multiple feeds and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. Well, it is 10 of 10. I'm tired. I think I'm going to call it a day, kids. And save the rest for next week. I think that's going to be the plan. Definitely got to work on organization here. Yeah, the setup's been years in the making, and a lot of money, which is why I appreciate all the supporters and all you guys who helped me out. So thank you very much. It was a cool feed. We're gonna pick this up next week. Maybe we'll do it next Thursday, I think. I just have to double check schedule. So just keep an eye on my social media pages and make sure we're all good there. I'll usually keep the schedule there. And you members, I'll post it on the community page too. And we'll go from there. So have an amazing week. I had a great time. And we will wrap this baby up next week and go from there. See you guys later.